You know, I think that Dan Lanning probably outclassed Ryan Day in this game, particularly at the end of the game. Now we'll get to that rule.
Oh,
and all
by
that
the way,
stuff
I just got an alert that the NCAA is fixing that rule. It's no longer.
That's no surprise. But listen, kudos to him for taking advantage of it when nobody, including myself or Ryan Day and his staff or the players, knew that was something that was not a dead ball foul. So that's sort of a strange thing that they're going to fix, and they're going to fix it like now.
Oh yeah, they did. I'm telling you, they fixed it right now.
So you're telling they fixed it to the point where tomorrow night when I do my game at Marshall, this rule is in effect.
NCAA closes loophole for illegal substitution after Oregon 12-man penalty versus Ohio State. The NCAA has issued a new rule wow, I can't even speak today. Interpretation following a highly controversial tactic used by Oregon in a narrow win over Ohio State this weekend. Blah, 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 blah. After the 2-minute timeout in either half, if the defense commits a substitution foul and 12 or more players are on the field and participating in a down, officials will penalize the defense for the foul and at the option of the offended team, reset the game clock back to time displayed at the snap. Boom.
Okay.
There it is. Right? Hot off the presses. 10 minutes ago.
I mean, people are blaming Will Howard for not going down sooner. Okay, fine. Will Howard didn't that's a tough thing to have that clock in your head when you're running. I mean, I guess it's different.
I wonder if he realized it was 6 seconds, or do you think he thought it was still 10? Because the way he played it, I thought he might have thought it was. I tell you what, listen, this is the beauty about being in Columbus is that you get to hear a player speak. So I listened to Will Howard speak after the game, and because we talked about this on the radio the other day, he said that the play call was a flood. He understood they had one timeout. They called a flood and wanted to get the ball out of bounds. They were looking to get 15 yards on that play. Now, the problem with all of that being said is, one, you got a timeout. You don't need to run the ball. You don't need to throw it out of bounds. You could throw it wherever you want and call the timeout. You go back to Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen in that thriller in the playoffs. Travis Kelce runs a bang 8. They hit it straight down the middle, call the timeout, kick a field goal to either win or send it in overtime, whatever the heck it was. So that's what you could have did. But neither here nor there. The fact that you said you was trying to get 15 yards, that's crazy to me too. Because guess what? How many yards do you get?
Couldn't run it. You
wait a minute. How many yards do you get for a 15-yard offensive pass? For an offensive PI, 15. So why didn't you just run the ball when you was on the 28 to begin with? Why did you try to throw it and get all fancy?
Yeah, at the time, how many timeouts did the Buckeyes have?
One.
They had one left. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, you're in a good spot. I'm sure that Ryan. Listen, I'm sure in the back of Ryan Day's mind, he's thinking about the Georgia,
1,000%.
You don't ever, and I totally understand that because you and I both see it every week. College kickers are
they like
interesting animals, man. They're like head cases. So I totally get that. I would not want to put the game on my kicker, especially in a game that has like the magnitude of the Ohio State Oregon game where it's, top 5 teams. I wouldn't want my kicker in that spot. I'd rather go down and try to get a touchdown, or at least like make it a chip shot field goal. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it to the 10-yard line.
You could also do that by, run the ball.
No, I understand. At 28 seconds, what was the clock? I don't have the play-by-play in front of me. Do you have it by chance?
I don't have it in front of me. But.
Yeah, well, I'll have it here momentarily. So with 28 seconds to go, here we go. The final drive. 28 seconds. Bam. You're at okay. Oregon 28 with 28 seconds. How about that? So you got one timeout.
At that point, I thought we won. Like, it was done to me. Like,
so that funny about that is I was in the car listening to Keels and Lachey, who it's so nice to listen to those guys.
I know, great.
You don't always have the opportunity to be in the car. you know, it's like you watch it on TV and it's great, but like listening to those dudes, it just makes
It
makes
does.
me smile. Paul Keel's the voice of God. Jim Lachey is just the best. So
yeah.
Anyway, so I'm listening to those guys talk, and I'm thinking when they made the catch that got it to the 28, I'm like you said, you know, Ibuka gets the first down. I'm like, this game is over. They're gonna just grind away the final, you know, 28 seconds or whatever it is, and win the game. I personally don't think you could run the ball there, though. I mean, with 28 seconds left and one timeout, you have to conserve the timeout so that you can get the field goal unit on the field. So I totally understand why they're throwing the ball there. I just think it was a bad.
Why not?
And by the way, I don't know that it was a great call in terms of the PI.
Oh, it was a terrible call. That was the guy
contact was initiated by
the guy was pressed up like that. I'm gonna tell you 99.8% of the time that's not being called. 99.8 they're not calling that. But that was a terrible. I ain't gonna say it wasn't offensive PI because it was, so he did push off. But like I say, if a guy is pressed up and that contact happens, that's just part of the game.
Agreed. And like I said this to you guys on our chat. Did you watch the whole game? Did you see how physical both sides were playing and how the officials officiated the game to allow the contact, to allow the physicality to happen? That to me is something that should be like considered in every moment. Like if you're going to let these guys play, the players get used to how the officials call the game. I've been in many games, and you have too, where we're playing, whether it be press coverage, maybe it's covered too, I don't know. But you get away with a little bit more in certain games with certain official crews where you don't in other games.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, by the way, what was that? Was that crew from the Big Ten?
I have no idea.
That's worth a Google search, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because you know,
they definitely had some money down on it. I tell you that.
I don't know they had money down on it, but I do think these crews can be a little biased towards their conference.
They took Oregon on the money line.
Don't get me started. I had the Buckeyes money line, dude.
Yeah, I know another.
I actually so I took it at halftime.
Oh, really?
When they were down a point, yeah, and I also had the Buckeyes first half money line, which was just absolutely fun to watch them give up that touchdown with a minute to go. Just awesome. Aside from the financial interest I had, I am an alum, and I was very frustrated with all of it. But
that's what this is about.
I put my money where my heart is sometimes.
I tried to do +4. You know what? If I did +14, though, that would have been bad. I'm glad I talked myself out of it.